What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Purposeful Journey podcast. This your boy Sylvester, aka Sly. Who else we got on here, man?
The one and only Perry P. Brown, or you can call me Ambitious P. Brown. But
Okay,
either way, I
okay,
love it.
okay. Ambitious B Brown. Okay, boy. Hey, man, we got a good one for y'all today, man. Something that's been weighing heavily on our minds. And Perry, I'm gonna let you start it off, man. I know this is something that's definitely near and dear to your heart, man. So share with us, man, what's going on with it, man. What's going on with you?
All right, all right. So today's topic is hitting the reset button in your life. We all go through ups and downs. We all been through different types of obstacles in our lives, man. Um, the goal is to make sure that we don't give up. So hit the reset button. Anytime you feel like yourself going down a downhill slope, don't hesitate to hit that reset button. Don't hesitate to start over. No one can judge you for wanting to start over and getting back on track in life. It's been many situations that I've been through that I had to tell myself, yo, I'm feeling myself going down again. As you feel yourself elevating, life just start hitting you and then make you go down. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna give up, but I'm not gonna continue to go down this road either. So let me pause myself and regroup so I can get back going on the right path. Sly, what you got to say about that?
Yeah, I like that, man, because I know for me personally, it's like life be life, and man, and things happen in life, and it's so much goes on at once, and all we need is to take a step back. We need to regroup, we need to reboot, recharge, and that, like you said, that's where that reset button will come in. So I'll typically will need to press that reset button wherever I need to, and for me, that'll involve prayer, talking to God, because I start with Him before my day. I end with Him at the end of my day because He helps me recharge to reboot so that I can keep going the next day and the day after that, and so on and so forth. But when life happens, man, I definitely be needing that reset button to just press it and then just regroup, man. Because we all know life. Life goes on, especially nowadays. A lot be going on in life.
Yes. And I'm glad you said put God first. I'm the same way, man. Every day that I wake up, I may not physically get on my knees and pray, but mentally I'm praying. So if I'm silent, if I got a room to myself, I'm praying, for God to help me get through the day, get my day started. When I'm at work, I sit in my car before I go to work, go in and clock in. I pray, ask God to get me through the day, be vigilant, but be obedient to Him as to what I need to do. Especially if I know I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I'm seeing my work emails and I know that it's just gonna be chaotic. I just ask God every day, before I punch that clock to reset everybody. If the kids or my staff we having bad days or whatever, I just pray that they reset themselves. And I always preach that to even in the work environment, I always preach that to my staff. I see that you need to take a chill. You getting a little bit escalated right now. That's go take you a quick 10-minute break to regroup and recharge and then come back in the game. You know what I'm saying? We got to look at it like we playing sports. Basketball, football, baseball, it don't matter. If the players are getting thrown off of their game, they need to take a timeout. That's what your coach is there for. That's what your support is for. Your coach is your support, but your biggest coach is God. So if God is telling you that you need to chill out, take a moment to breathe, and then get back in the game, then do that. Because all you doing is you're gonna burn yourself out. You're gonna get gassed out, and then you're gonna put yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in.
Hey, hey, man, look, I love what you said just now about burnout because burnout is real. Burnout is real, y'all. And I know I've experienced it last year. And even the year before that, I've experienced burnout so much to the point where I was in depressive mode. And it was a dark time for me. And I needed that reset. I needed that recharge. I needed that time to get closer to God. I needed that time to focus on what I needed to do to take care of me, and focus on making sure that I'm all right, because I'm big on helping people doing this, making sure people are taken care of, making sure people are good. And this, Perry, from personal experience. But knowing I've had to learn when to step back, learning when to say no, learning when it's okay to, just focus on you, focus on what you need to do, asking God to help you at the end of the day, because I can't pour from an empty cup, and none of us can do that. So pressing that reset board. I like what you mentioned about sports as well, because each team, there's an off season. There's always an off season in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's going to be practices going on in off season still, but it's an off season. There's no games going on. There's no hustle and bustle to a degree going on. So in that off season, yeah, you'll still be grinding as much, but you'll also be finding that time to rest, to recharge, to reboot. Like NBA finals, hockey finals are about to end soon. So they're going to be
Mhm.
going into their off season. Baseball
Mhm.
just started, and NFL is still in their off season, but they'll be starting up soon. So it's just
Mhm.
about taking that time to reset, to recharge yourself. And this is very important that we recharge and reset ourselves.
Exactly. And just piggyback off of what you're saying about off season. Off season is the perfect example of a reset button because now you getting ready to go into a new season. So, like with them going into a new season in sports, us in general, like as people, we going into a new season of another blessing, and we're going
Mm-hmm.
into a new season of life. So we want to reset ourselves from the previous season. We want to reflect, we want to learn from the previous season, but we want to reset ourselves so that way we can be recharged, refreshed for the new season. Because
Mm-hmm.
I always use this tactic too. You don't want to bring your old situation into your new life. You don't want to bring old problems to new situations because now you just bagging up everything and you haven't resolved yourself from the old situation so you can be fresh for your new situation, meaning you're gonna kill your blessings. You're gonna kill your blessings if you don't get yourself together from your old problems. So just this, like I said, my when this topic came to me, man, I knew I was gonna have a lot to say about it because I done been through so much. I'm 33 years old, but you would think I'd have been through almost 50, 60 years worth of stuff because of the things that I had to experience being young, from a child all the way to my age now. You know what I'm saying? So being able to speak that words of wisdom to someone who may need it, man, it really was that this was a topic near and dear to my heart for real.
Hey man, look, and I love it because I needed to hear it. A lot of people who may be listening or watching may need to hear it as well because it applies to everybody. It applies to all of our lives because it's very crucial for that off season. Because when you're embarking into a new season, there's always going to be something that's going to try to creep in there from the old season that's going to try to take you back, try to bring you back, and try to take you step back. But we can't allow that to happen because as we step into that new season, the beginning of a new season, the beginning of a new era of sorts, we have to understand that out with the old, in with the new. That involves resetting yourselves, hitting that reset button, recharging yourself, rebooting, regrouping yourself so that
Mhm.
you can be ready. And God will prepare you. God will prepare you because He didn't bring you this far only just to bring you this far. Because if He can take you to it, He can see you through it. And I live by
Mhm.
that. I live by that.
Mhm. Oh yeah, man. And like you said, man, if he can take you to it, he can send you through it, man, because it just you have to you gotta hone into it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really engage yourself into wanting to make that change too, though. So hitting the reset button, man, it's a choice thing because you either can stay on the same path that you've been on, or you can just sit down and be like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of going through the same boat. I'm tired of riding on the same boat. I'm tired of taking this same route in my life and I'm not getting anywhere. And so if this is hitting me in my spirit, God sizzling in my spirit that I need to go ahead and change and I haven't even figured it out yet, I'm only causing myself even more harm. And then I'm feeling, you can feel yourself mentally and physically getting tired. You may feel like you okay, but you really not okay. And people people notice that about me a lot because when they see me smiling, they see me being an uplifting type of person. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on here battling some of the worst demons in my life. I was battling some of the worst demons in my life. And I finally had to really kick back and be like, okay, what is it that I'm doing wrong? What is it that God is telling me to do to get myself back on track and lean more on Him and not on my own understandings? So I was like, you know what? Let me start over. If I got to start completely over, if I got to lose everything, cause that's another thing I'm finna talk about. If I had to lose things for me to realize, okay, it's time for me to reset. It's time for me to reset myself. And I hate that I had to lose things and I had to lose people who were once close to me in my life. But it gave me that wake up call that, okay, mentally, I know I need to change. Physically, I know I need to change. Emotionally, I know I need to change. And spiritually, I know I need to change. And I can't do all of that without having God in the midst of things because I lost sight of God for a long time. Sly, when I said for years I lost sight of Him, it was just like, okay, it was almost like I believed Him, but I didn't believe Him.
Mhm.
I knew He was there, but it was just like, I'm still gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna be disobedient. And he'll have a way, he'll have a lot of ways of humbling you. He'll reset you yourself.
Mhm.
He'll reset you yourself when he see that you ain't following his lead. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, man. What you gotta say about that?
Hey, look, man, you just spoke to me just now because I feel that because whether people may see it or not, God's gonna show us one way or another. Either you gonna do as I say, or you ain't gonna like what's to come. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you got to follow his lead at the end of the day, and I've been having to learn that myself, especially in recent years. Even in college, doing my own thing, not caring, doing this and that, but like it had to really take me to a moment where I had to literally sit still. God wanted me to sit still because I was always on the hustle, on the go every single time. But God wanted me to sit still. He needed me to sit still so that I can listen to Him. Because you've heard the saying in church when they say all hearts and minds clear.
Mm-hmm.
My wasn't, because if I was able to hear God, if my mind was clear and heart was clear, I'd be able to hear God. But in that moment, I didn't, because I had a lot of things running in my mind, and I had a lot of things just going on, a lot of voices in my head that was just this, and that. And I needed to really understand what it really meant to sit down, to be still, and just sit with it, learn to deal with it instead of me trying to escape it, which is something I'm gonna bring up in the next episode because I feel like I'm gonna go on a tangent on that. But it's just like I just needed to learn to sit still because I needed that, and I needed that, and it was a really dark time, but it really helped me because it forced me to get closer to God. When God forces you to do something, I'd rather you choose to do it than God forcing you to do it, because God's going to
Right,
force you to do it and it may not be how you want it to be.
right.
So he forced me to sit still, and I had to get closer to him, and I had to gain that understanding, that wisdom from him, that without him, none of this would be possible. Without him, I wouldn't have any of this stuff. I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be in Florida. I wouldn't have this job. I wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for him. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
reset. I had to reprogram, regroup. I had to change
Mm-hmm.
my mindset and reframe my perspective at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I'm glad you touched on the whole part on if you don't do it, he's gonna make you do it and you ain't gonna like it. Yes, because it's been plenty of times, man. I'm like, man, God, I don't think this is gonna be the right way for me to do it. I'm gonna do it this way. And he's like, okay, you do it your way. and watch what the results gonna be for not listening to me and not obeying what I'm directing you to do.
Yep.
And I had to learn it the hard way. And it ranged from my grades in school. It can range from my finances. You
Whew.
know, being academically inclined, but I wasn't being academically disciplined because with God, God is going to be the one that's going to help you get disciplined. Financially, I wasn't disciplined. So, okay, you can go from having them good refund checks of $4,000, $5,000 to being broke because you want to be disobedient and not follow the direction that God, asked you to go on. So now you looking broke and you looking crazy. So I had to kick back on that too. I'm like, man,
Ooh, woo.
hey, it's a lot of things that I want, but if I would have listened to God and kick back and reset myself and refocus, I would have these things. But now I'm sitting up here looking crazy and wonder how I'm gonna pay my bill because I want to go out here and buy up the mall or something. So that's another thing, God always wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? Just focus on what he's saying to do. And if you losing your sight, please catch yourself before you end up drowning, before he has to catch you for you and have to show you the hard way on why you ain't being obedient to him.
Woo, woo. Let me tell you something, man. You hit a nail on the wall with that. Cause I remember in college, man, we had those refund checks. We thought we were balling. We thought we were doing
Balling.
something. We thought we were doing
Reach.
something. Then with that money gone, it's just like dang,
Now, how
okay.
we gonna survive the rest of the semester? Right.
Right. It
How we
gone in
gonna
like a
survive the rest of
week.
the semester? Now we praying to God every day to ask us to have some money when He already blessed us with the money, but we want to be goofy and selfish and disobedient.
For
You
what?
know,
Man, I will never forget that. I'm just like, oh man, what a time. Man, we went through it back. We went through the trenches back then. And we had to understand what it really meant to trust God.
hmm
Because, like I said earlier, without him, we wouldn't have any of this stuff. So, understanding and gaining that perspective and wisdom from him that we need to reset, we need to sit down, we need to be still, and just focus on him, because the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all the things shall be added unto you. So if we seek him first, he'll take care of the rest. But we have to learn to seek him. We have to learn to trust his process and trust that he's going to take care of us. He's going to make provisions for us. He's going to do what he said he's going to do. He's going to do what he does according to his will, not our will, in his timing. Because a lot of times we're so focused on wanting things to happen right then and there. We, like I mentioned before, we live in a microwave generation. Want it right then and there, like hot and ready. Take a few
hmm
seconds, then boom, you get it right then and there. That's not how life works. So everything in life is going to involve having you to reset, having you to sit still, having you to take a step back for a second, just to regroup, just to get back to your roots, get back to your foundation, get back to where you were get back to what brought you to the dance in the first place, what brought you here, and remembering who got you this far, who brought you this far, who got you out of that situation, who got you out of debt, who got you out of abuse, whatever it is. It's just remembering that. So we just really need that reset button for sure and recharge.
Yes. What the great man named Kendrick Lamar said? Sit down and be humble. You know, he used a lot of profanity in that song, but that key piece right there, sit down, be humble, that spoke a lot of volumes to people and even myself, because it's
Mhm.
like, yo, like a lot of things that, like you said, a lot of things that we have right now, we wouldn't have right now have we, what I'm saying, not been obedient to the Lord. So, just being mindful, just being mindful of your surroundings, being mindful of yourself, knowing that, okay, I know I'm doing this the wrong way. But the question is, am I going to sit down and let God direct my path, or I'm just gonna keep thugging it out until I can't thug out no more. And now I'm sitting up here looking crazy, and now
Mhm.
I'm depressed, I'm stressed, I'm angry, I'm bitter, I'm hostile, I'm toxic.
Mm,
Ooh,
mm, mm, mm.
toxic gonna be another topic of discussion later
Woo, woo.
on. um, all of those negative connotations of yourself, and then now you got people shading away and fading away from you because you got all this negative energy because you didn't sit down and you didn't become humble and you didn't reset yourself to
Mm-hmm.
where that now you can get back in the race and get back in the game, because now you know that God is going to direct you the way that you need to go. And
Mm-hmm.
then if the people still fade away from you, at least you know that they fading away from you for good reasons, because God wanted them to fade away from you because you
Mm-hmm.
reset yourself to become a better version of you. And then they can't handle the better version of you or the new version of you. So the old version of them ain't gonna mix with the new version of you. So they have to go. So God can bring new people who ready to be within the midst of the new person of that you becoming. So y'all can
Mm-hmm.
mesh together. So that way, if y'all need to reset, y'all can help reset each other because y'all on the same vibration.
Hey, come on now, come on now. It's gonna take us losing people. It's gonna take us losing things in order to for us to get an understanding. And like we said before, God's gonna force you to understand. God's gonna force you to listen to Him, and it ain't gonna be how you like it. Because once you don't listen to Him, and once you're disobedient, oh, He's gonna show you better than He can tell you.
Gonna make you feel it.
He gonna
He
make
gonna
you
make you
feel it.
feel it.
Ooh, we. I know I've had to feel it a bunch of times. God made me feel it. I was like, ooh, okay, geez, okay, God, I hear you. Jesus, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild, man. So overall, really, what the basis is just understanding when it's time to reset, when it's time to regroup, and knowing that when that time comes for you to reset, don't look back, because it's no point in trying to look back and having regrets or anything like that. It's human nature that we have regrets normally and stuff, but it doesn't serve any purpose other than blocking you from your blessings, blocking you from what God can do for you going forward. So reset yourself, reprogram yourself, recharge yourself, reboot, man. We're like machines, we need a reboot, we need that recharge, we need it, man.
Mm-hmm. And don't ever let anyone tell you that you don't need to reset yourself a certain amount of time. Hitting the reset button is unlimited because
Mm-hmm.
your life is the key component. That's why you want to reset yourself as many times as you need to. It's
Yep.
unlimited because we only here for a limited time offer. We only here in this
Exactly.
world for a limited time offer. So let's just make the best of our lives right now. As many
Mm-hmm.
times as we need to, what I'm saying, come back from a major setback or a minor setback, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we only on this world for a limited time.
Mm.
Once God says it's time for us to go, and if you die in bitterness and you die in negativity, that's gonna carry. So
Exactly.
you want to make sure that when you die, and when we die, we want to make sure that we die with prosperity. We want to make sure we die with peace. We want to make sure we die with God still in our hearts, even after He bring us out of this world. So I always tell people, man, don't ever sit here and limit yourself when it's time for you to go back to the chopping blocks, as they call it, going back to the chopping blocks. If you got to go back and revise your game plan, revise your game plan as many times as you need to. If you got people that's being judgmental about your game plan and how you need to reset yourself, that means they part of the reason why you need to reset yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to
Mm-hmm.
take them out of your game plan at this point because they were once in your life. Now they don't mean any good to you because now, like I said, you becoming a new person. Anytime that you got to change your game plan, it's because you're becoming a better person. And that means if they're not going to be the support that you need, then they got to come off the team, bro. It's just like that.
Hey, facts on that. Facts on that. Also, my apologies. I just got a text message, so I was like, "Oh shoot." Uh, but yeah, facts though. Honestly, man, and that's the truth. You got to revise your game plan. You got to regroup. You got to change some things up. And that's a part of it. That's a part of life. That's the whole thing on this journey that's filled with purpose, that's filled with so much that God has in store for you. But you have to have that understanding, just gain a better understanding of that at least. And it's not easy. No, it will never be
Mm-hmm.
easy. But you just got to remember that everything happens for a reason. It's gonna happen in accordingly in its timing, in his timing, nonetheless, in his will, according to his will. And once you remember that, and once you stay true to that, and once you stay focused on that, stay focused on him, everything else will fall in line. Everything else will completely fall in line.
Mm-hmm. That's hey, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Follow his lead and everything will fall in line. You know, go out of his lead, then you're gonna see everything crumbling. You know, you don't wanna you don't wanna lose sight of your bigger purpose. You don't. And when you feel yourself losing sight of your bigger purpose, that's
Mm-hmm.
when you know that it's a problem. And that's when you know that you really need to reevaluate yourself
Yep.
and understand that you living for a purpose. You living for a purposeful meaning, and you want to make sure that you're living up to that purpose. And when you see that you backsliding, because it's going to happen, we all
Mm-hmm.
going to backslide. We all going to have setbacks, but
Mm-hmm.
we should never let our setbacks set us back so much that we at no point of return. You should
Mm.
always catch yourself at that point before you know that you're not going to bounce back.
My
So that
Lord.
way God can grab you before you fall. You stumbling, but God can still grab you and he can pick you up with his mighty muscles
Mm-hmm.
and like take a break. I don't care how long you got to take a break. Take a
Mm-hmm.
break.
Exactly.
Get your mind reset, get your heart reset, get your spirit reset, and let's go back to like I said, let's go back to the chopping blocks. Who and or what is not fulfilling your purpose right now? Who's not pouring into you? Those are the people we need to eliminate in order to be the best version of you and being the best version of me,
Mm-hmm.
God, who's living through you.
Mm-hmm.
We got to remove people and remove things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to hurt because it hurts to reset.
Yep.
That and
Yep.
that's something else people need to understand. Hitting that reset button is going to hurt because you don't have people and things that you were rocking with for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
now you got to cut ties with it.
Yep.
That's the unfortunate side.
Mm-hmm.
But the fortunate side of it is now that you had to cut ties with them, you see a bigger version of what God has for you when you get back on track.
Exactly, man. I'm gonna end it with this, man. I'm gonna end it with this, man. A setback is a setup for a major comeback. And your comeback is here. Your comeback is coming. But you just got to believe it. You just got to remember that God wants the best out of you. God wants you to be the best you that you can be. He wants you to be the best version of you that he has in store for you. But you just got to believe it. You just got to reset. You got to regroup. You got to find that reset button when life gets rough. Hit that reset button. Like Perry said, it's not going to be easy. It's going to hurt, but it's important. Hit that reset button, man. And with that being said, man, hey, this was a well needed topic for me. Honestly, I really needed to hear this. Honestly, so Perry, I want to thank you, man, for bringing this topic, man, because I needed to hear this as much as I'm sure a lot of people who listen to this or watch this. So much appreciated, my brother. Everybody who's out there, man, we appreciate y'all for listening for the second episode of our podcast, man. As always, it's your boy Sylvester, aka Sly.
And it's the one and only Perry Ambitious P. Brown.
Hey man, and stay tuned for the next episode, man. We got a lot in store for you this season. We got a lot in store for you in the seasons coming, man. So thank you guys so much. We love
Yeah.
you, and we'll see you guys around.
God bless you. We love you.
God bless you.